Any questions, comments, or changes? If not, we have a motion to approve as submitted.
So moved?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Good. One extension, I guess. Okay. All right, Gene, you want to go through your plan? Okay, we have a few minutes before 6:35.
Yeah, I have a couple small things that I could do. So I attended the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission Solar and Battery Storage meeting on August 7th, and that was really the same presentation that we had here at our staff meeting from Stephen Mino. It was kind of nice at the end, though, his last two slides. I think a lot of it was new information, I think garnered from his meeting with the staff here. So at least he listened. So
That's
I
good.
kind of complimented him on that. I still expressed concern about the battery storage portion of it. I raised the issue that, you know, us, like a lot of small communities in this part of the woods, have a lot of wetlands, groundwater protection district, aquifers, and I'm not sure where appropriate placement is for these facilities. There were a lot of people from Ocam and Barry there, and they're faced with a rather large facility that they're trying to fight right now. It's being put in as a public utility, so their local bylaws really out the window, and it's going in under the state regulations. So I think it's a little scary for a lot of small communities, and I think pretty much everybody on that meeting felt the same way, that, you know, it's really kind of taking away local control. I mean, as a planner, I always feel that zoning is the highest and best use of the land according to the will of the people. And I think this takes the people out and put, you know, kind of the state in the place of the people. So,
Gina, I have a question on that, if you don't mind me interrupting. If you were talking about the utility install superseding local regulations for state regulations, how, if at all, do state regulations account for environmental in zoning use, or do they?
we'll have to, I guess, stay tuned.
Yet.
We don't know yet
Got
what
it.
this new version will look like. So what happened in Ocam is they had a local bylaw, and somebody came in with a large facility, and they denied it, and they appealed it to the state utility board. So that's taking that path. This new proposal that all these presentations are on the new regulations that will be coming out in March. So they kind of intermingled. There's also a bill in play right now, too, that would give select boards authority over what can be cited in the community. I don't know if that will gain any traction, but a lot of local legislators are trying to sign on to that. I know the Board of Selectmen sent a letter of support on that last week as well. So, but the meeting was well attended. I think there are about 35 of us on. So I'll keep attending everything, and at least we're seeing, our voices are being heard. You know, a lot of credit to Stephen. He was a small town planner, and I think that's showing in the work that he's doing. So while we don't have to like what they're doing, I appreciate that he's taking our concerns and, you know, at least trying to get those in the permitting process. So I thought that was valuable.
Yeah.
Very good.
I
Okay.
have more, but I'll have to wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. Yeah, we can, it's just about another minute. It'll be 6:35, and we can open up the continuation of the public hearing. Okay, Gene, do you want to give us an introduction then?
Yes.
Update, I should say.
An update. So here with us this evening, we have Dan Sheehan, Mark DiPilato, and Jim Cacciaroni for representing 660 Main Street. Since the last meeting, we have received information, including updated stormwater and groundwater protection district information, updated site plan. We've received the record survey, the traffic evaluation. We've received an updated peer review, and the plans have been revised based on fire department comment, and we've received a waiver request to the landscape architect stamp. Also, I should mention, before I forget, Brad Goodwin was absent at the July 28th meeting. However, he has watched the video, and he has signed the Mullen Rule paperwork as required and provided that to me this evening.
Very good. Great.
So basically, all the missing information has been provided, and that's been reviewed by staff and by the peer reviewer. We do find that all requirements have been met at this time, and I would, obviously, you can ask any additional questions that you have, and I know Wally caught one thing that I did miss, so he'll bring that up. But beyond that, I am recommending that you vote to grant the waiver to the stamp for the landscape architect. I do believe the landscaping plan actually exceeds the intent of the bylaw during the design review and staff review process. I believe it's 18 street trees were added to the plan in addition to some perennials and shrubs. So I would recommend you grant that waiver. The total landscaping plan is about 1,600 square feet. And so if it's over 1,000, that's when you trigger the need for the stamp. I'd recommend you grant the special permit for the groundwater district special permit as required. I do believe they're making sufficient improvements to the stormwater management plan, and that the groundwater protection district will actually be better protected than it is currently after the construction of the improvements. And then I'd also recommend that you grant the site plan approval with conditions as noted. And after Wally's comment, I think we may want to add one more, and I don't know if anybody else has anything else, so.
Very good. Is there anything you'd like to present or talk about?
What I can show you, so Dan Sheehan with Haley Ward. I can just kind of give you some brief overviews of the kind of the changes that have happened since the last time you guys have saw this plan and what you're going to be seeing today. So if we could actually go to the layout sheet, please.
Dan, can you let her know what sheet number?
It should be sheet 3, if I'm not mistaken. Perfect. One too many. So one thing brought up by the planning board last time we were here was truck traffic essentially going around into the access road. So we actually provided a sign on the western side of the building, adjacent to that parking pod there, for lack of a better term. Pretty much a sign just saying no truck traffic beyond this point. And a lot of the other changes here, again, were a lot more associated with the peer review comments. Again, just giving you guys a brief overview. These are more so about the construction details, and they're all really associated with the outlet control structure for the stormwater basin. We made those revisions. It was acknowledged by the peer reviewer, and there's no more conflicts, for lack of a better term there. And honestly, that's most of the changes that have kind of happened since last time you guys had saw this, with that extra turnaround as well, from what the plans you're seeing here today. So I'll be more than happy to answer other specific questions you guys may have.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Charlie, if
Yes.
I may too, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the Conservation Commission has already approved this plan at their meeting and issued an order of conditions.
Oh, that's great. Very good. Okay, very good. All right, Dane, do you have any questions or comments?
Do you have a utility plan queued up that we could look at?
Yeah, it should be on sheet 4, maybe the next one after.
Perfect. That's actually a great view right there. So we had talked last time about maybe coming in with some sort of utilities up on that corner. Is that right? Maybe the top right corner as we look at it on the plan? I can't read that. It's a little electric. Looks like it's over there. Maybe there's a transformer. And then it looks like you have all your utilities kind of mid-span, kind of next to that door.
Yes, so the proposed utilities, where they're coming in right now, as shown on the plans here, there's no proposed transformer or anything like that. There's already an existing utility pole, which we're actually going to pull from that into the building there for the electric.
Need pad mounted for the operations here?
To the best of my knowledge, no. The architect might be able to answer some more on that when we have a better defined use. Besides that, we also have the sewer utility kind of shown at the very bottom there, tying back in.
Below with the building? Is that what's underground that's parallel with the building
It would
there?
actually be perpendicular to the building from what you're seeing here. So I don't know, Jenna, if you could kind of zoom in a little bit here.
What is that? Is that an underground that's running parallel to the right of it? Or is it an above-head utility line? Oh, it's a drain line. There it
Yes,
is.
so
Okay.
that will be subsurface running parallel with the building there.
Sewer. Okay. And then was there a gas line coming in at all, or no? Is there going to be tanks? Did we say last time, maybe?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just thinking that is kind of the primary entrance, and we were talking about landscaping, and I was thinking that front corner is going to need maybe a little screening around any utilities or anything that happen in that area. But it sounds like not much is happening, so that's the bulk of my question.
Okay.
Aside from that, like I mentioned last time, this building is beautiful, so great job.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Wally? Don?
Yep, as we were mentioning before, let me just stand up here and just point out, there is a plaque. This plaque is located, we go back one, Janae? The map. It's located here, and now I'll see the plaque. The builder of Galileo had dedicated a plaque that was located here, this one here, and it doesn't seem to be affected by any construction at all. However, it's very close to a site like that. So I just wanted to make sure that it was going to stay in place and it was going to be protected during construction. I'm not sure how you would do that. I think it's set in a rock. It's probably, I'm not sure how deep in the ground it is. I'm sure you don't want to move anything like that, or just box it in with some lumber or whatever. But I just want to make sure that it's going to be there. It's going to be on the Markers and Memorial and Commission is doing an inventory of the ones in town. All of them, with the Soldiers Monument and everything else, and that is a private one, but we're going to put that on an inventory so everybody knows it's there and its purpose, original purpose there for that. But I just want to make sure everybody's aware of it. It is on that original, I just showed you on that map from 1999, 2004, but on this most recent rendition, 2025, it's not there.
So we'll add it, I think, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Otherwise, I agree with Dan. Beautiful building. It's going to look really fantastic, and I just can't wait to see it being built.
Great. Sue, any comments?
No
questions?
comments.
Brad?
I had one question. So, from my understanding, there's a good amount of contaminated soil in this site area. So, what are the plans as far as managing that soil on any construction?
So this was actually discussed heavily at the Conservation Commission meeting as well. There was actually the PLS who was there before. My understanding is that this has all been closed out from Mass DEP. So there are currently no concerns with soil contamination. They also alluded to as well, just full transparency, that this was also audited by Mass DEP at the highest standard. So they really went through and dotted their I's, crosses their T's. But obviously, whatever during construction, we'll follow all proper Mass DEP protocols for dealing with construction and contaminated sites. But from the LSP's perspective, during the Conservation Commission meeting, he doesn't anticipate any issues whatsoever.
Okay.
And we do have all that documentation in the file.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Great. Taylor?
Nothing for me.
I am satisfied with the responses I've just heard.
All right. So I don't think I see anyone from the public here. Is there anyone calling in? We don't calling in anymore?
No calling
Okay.
in.
So based on that, if there are no further comments, I'll call for a vote to close the public hearing. Oops.
Excuse me.
Yep.
And did you want to add a condition about protecting the monument during construction?
Yeah, yes. I think yes,
Okay.
that we certainly
So we'll
do.
add a 27th condition, but it won't be number 27. I'll renumber
Yeah. No,
and
that
put it in
sounds good.
appropriate
Just a note
order.
to make sure it gets done and preserve the quality.
Thank you.
Sure, great.
All right, now I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, motion then to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion to close the public hearing.
Second. All in favor? Very good. Okay, so the first vote we need is to grant the waiver for a landscape architect requirement. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. We have that motion then to grant that waiver?
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I apologize, Charlie, but I have some discussion.
Sure.
I have no issue with that in concept. I just wonder if we're setting precedent, and what is the threshold, and what is the logic? Is that fair?
Well, yeah.
This seems diminutive, I agree. Maybe we just say it's under a number, and that's
It
our
is.
threshold, and that's all I'm saying.
So we do have a number in the bylaws, so 1,000 square feet or under, you don't need one, period. Over 1,000 square feet, you can request one when you feel you've met the intent of the bylaw and it's a small amount of landscaping. So in this case, it's 1,600 square feet. They've added 18 street trees, which is well above and beyond what would normally be required. And there's significant landscaping. So I'm supporting the request. I think if somebody had 1,600 square feet of landscaping and there were a couple of potted plants and a tree, I probably wouldn't support it. So, but normally what we do during the review process is we look at what the bylaw says that they need for landscaping, per interior parking lot landscaping, street trees, et cetera, and then I make my recommendation based on that.
Right.
Certainly a good thing to consider when it gets large enough, maybe, you know, considering trees and shade and things like that as you go through it, right? To put additional conditions on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it does seem that, you know, based on the wording of the bylaw, we do have that flexibility to grant this waiver
Yes.
based on that evaluation, so.
Great,
Okay.
thank you, appreciate it.
Good. Very good, okay. Anyone else then? I guess if not, so we'll then have a motion to grant the waiver.
You have a
We have a motion.
motion.
All in favor? All right, very good. Great, okay, that's out of the way.
Thank you.
Next, we have to grant the special permit for the groundwater. And that's a recommendation as well. Can we have a motion to do that?
So moved?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Very good. And lastly, we'll have the granting of the site plan approval with the conditions that were noted, along with that new one that we just added. We'll have a motion for that.
I make a motion to approve the site plan.
Second,
Second?
okay. So, all in favor? Very good. All right. Great. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with your
Best
project.
wishes.
Very good. Hope everyone else is impressed that I remembered to close the public hearing. I usually don't. All right. Very good.
I'll just want to see that it's protected in the pre-construction meeting. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, June, you want to continue with your update?
Yes.
Gene, I have a question though. So from like contaminated soil in that aspect, how is that monitored? Is it Mass DEP that has to come and monitor that on a regular basis to
Yes.
ensure it's all being dealt with
Yes.
appropriately?
And they've closed it out, and Mass DEP's actually closed it out, so,
Okay.
so when a spill or something like that occurs, they notify Mass DEP, and then Mass DEP has an open case. So if you go on the Mass DEP website, you'll be able to look it up by, they call it an RTN number,
Yeah.
and then you can follow the reports in the cases. So whoever has the spill is required to hire an LSP, a licensed site professional, to do whatever monitoring or test wells or cleanup that Mass DEP requires.
What is that typically like on a for a site that kind of size? Would it be there daily, weekly?
It
It's
really
like
depends on what it was, what the chemical was, how large the spill was.
Okay.
So in the beginning, you're probably likely to see people there very often as they actually clean up and remediate that spill.
When all the digging and
Yes.
stuff's done. Yeah.
And then it will kind of taper off to, it might be weekly to start with, then it might go down to monthly, and then maybe it might go down to yearly for a period of time, and then eventually they'll consider it closed out and clean. And this is actually considered closed out and clean now.
If I recall, they monitored that for 20, 30 years.
They monitor
It was a
sites for
very long time.
And then some sites, they monitor only for a few years, depending on what it is. So the
Right.
extent of the site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good.
Okay, so, report somewhere in this paper, thank you. All right, so I provided my report to the Board of Selectmen on August 5th. I sent you all a copy of that. And I'm on vacation the next 2 weeks in August. And then also, we do have in your packet, we revised the agenda today. Last Friday, Kathy Thompson, came into my office, and she is the last remaining property next to where Convenient MD is being built at 212 Charlton Road. And she had some concerns with the large, you can kind of see that large stand of pines. When I went out and did the site visit with Lauren, and some of the board members were here as well, when they were like staking out where everything was going to go, I thought it would be nice to keep the large stand of pines just for a buffer between that last residential property and the commercial property. And the Thompsons were concerned that some of the trees had been dropping some really large branches and really were in decline. So they hired an arborist who went out and looked at the trees and provided a report to them. And that is in your packet. And he actually deemed 4 trees to actually be in hazard condition. And they're actually marked on the property. So if you went to the property, you can see they have pink ribbons on them now. And they want the trees removed. So she brought the report in to me, and they actually served a demand on Convenient MD for notification of diseased and dangerous trees. And I was going to reach out to Convenient MD today, and they reached out to me and Lauren early this morning and said they want to be good neighbors and would happily take the trees down. So given the condition, given that we've been put on notice, I think the prudent thing to do is let them take the trees down. So even though I thought it would be a great idea to have a buffer, I don't want anyone to get hurt either. So I don't even think it needs your approval. I am just letting you know that the trees need to come down.
Okay, these are the
So-
4 trees that were identified.
Yes,
right here.
yep.
Okay.
And it will still
It
leave.
still leaves quite a few trees.
Pine
Yeah, that
trees
should
in
be-
there, and we'll just
should be
get rid
better
of the
condition.
hazardous situation. So Lauren will check to make sure if it's in conservation's jurisdiction, and we'll determine if anything needs to be done with the commission. But I think from our standpoint, take the dangerous trees down
Right.
before
Sure.
somebody gets hurt. And while Convenient MD is willing to take them down. So I just wanted to notify you. I'll have them put that on the as-built showing the 4 trees that were removed. Just wanted to let you know.
Very good. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions or comments on that? Or it's all set with it? Good. All right, perfect.
So that's all I have.
Okay,
And
next.
I will say that at the August 25th meeting, there's nothing right now, but I'll ask Janae to keep that open just in case an A&R comes in while I'm away.
Okay.
But otherwise.
I will be away that week,
Okay,
okay? Just so
yep.
all know.
I'm not aware of anything coming in. I am aware of a couple of A&Rs coming, but I don't think they'll come until I come back from vacation. So I've let Janae know if anything comes in, she can email them to me and I'll take a quick look at them. If it's anything that falls within the time frame that you have to act, I'll be available. So, but I don't expect it, so the next one should be September 8th.
Very
Good.
good.
That's all I have.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
thank
All
you.
right. All right, next is old and new business. Dane, do you have any old and new business?
I hope Jean enjoys her vacation.
Very good.
Well earned.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's a birthday coming up.
I just had it.
Yeah, just happy birthday. Happy birthday, yeah.
Wally, anything? No, nothing. Sue?
All set?
No. Brad?
Nope.
Taylor?
2 things. So the Sturbridge Rec Department seems to have finished their construction of the playground over at the rec center. Came out beautiful. I don't know if it's like a turf or like that foam type padding at the bottom, but people seem to be enjoying it. It's just reopened again. They had to do some finishing touches, so.
Poured rubber.
Okay, yeah, it came out beautiful, so it's good to see that use. Hopefully they can get some more parking there with the other phases of their plans. Second thing I had was, I remember talk about sidewalks going in all the way to Burgess, basically up Cedar. Couldn't find the plans for it, I just want to see where things stood.
So right now, we're working on the segment that will go from Route 20 to the end of Burgess School Road, and that's through a Complete Streets grant. So we do have the concept plans, which I had emailed to all of
Right.
you. And council is working on the language, or the engineers are working on the language, the meets and bounds for the easements that we need everybody to sign off on. So once we get that, we'll actually meet with people to have them sign the documents. We had a meeting, I don't know, back in early summer, I think, to share the plans with the impacted residents, and everybody was really on board with signing off. I think there's one property that is actually a rental, and the property owner is not in the area, so we need to get in touch with that person. Last week, myself and Heather Blakely met with Table 3, because they were going to do a really rather beautiful landscaping around their sign. So we asked them not to do that until the crosswalk gets put into place, so they can better figure that out. So they're actually proposing a really nice stone kind of landscaped island and then that will be all planted with perennials, and then the sign would go into that, and the stone kind of circular, well, not really a stone wall, but similar, would actually have built in a little bit of illumination to help people better see where to pull in to the driveway. So luckily, we were able to meet with them and the landscaper, and all parties decided it made sense to hold off until the crosswalk is in place.
And that's for the Cedar Street Grill sign.
For the, between Cedar Street Grill and going into
Right,
the barn
right.
property. So we're hoping everything's done this fall. I mean, the funding is there. We need to finish the grant by the end of December. So it's really just waiting for those final documents. And then Heather's on vacation this week, and then I'm off the next two. We're hoping by the time I come back, we have all the documents. We can go door to door, get everybody to sign everything. And,
Now, Taylor, you also asking on the status of the road going into Burgess, or is that it, just one?
I mean, at some point, I think it was one of the future phases of the
Right, it is a future
rec plans.
phase, yeah, okay.
And I know they had to recess the terrain, right, in order to create the
So that was
road.
through Safe Routes to School grant. And so there are design plans that would then extend the sidewalk up to Burgess School, and would actually be like a cantilevered walkway, so to avoid impact to the wetlands, and that will be a later phase.
Cool. Thank you. That's all I got.
Very good, thank you. Dave?
I'm all set.
Okay, I guess if there's nothing else, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
All in favor? Very good, okay, thank you all.